Thanks a lot for coming. My name is Shannon Nelson. I'm a program associate with the Wisconsin Public Interest Research Group. I'm joined today by Kim Lombard, who's a trauma injury prevention specialist with Gunderson Lutheran. And we're here today to release WISPIRG's 25th annual Trouble in Toyland Toy Safety Report. We'd like to cover three things today. First, the progress that we've seen this year in addressing toy hazards. Second, what kind of toy hazards are still on the market. And third, a new campaign that WISPIRG is launching today to protect America's littlest consumers. In 2008, Congress responded to an unprecedented wave of toy recalls by passing a law to revamp the Consumer Product Safety Commission so it can better protect America's kids from unsafe toys. In addition to expanding the agency's budget and staff, the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act of 2008 gave the CPSC more tools to speed recalls of dangerous toys, banned toxic metals and phthalates from many types of toys and children's products, and established mandatory testing of toys and other children's products. We've made a lot of progress, but there's still danger in the toy box. WISPIRG's report and the resources we offer can help consumers identify and avoid threats that could harm their children and keep them safe this year. And not all of the dangerous products that we found actually violate the law. Consumers shopping for children should watch out for choking and toxic hazards in stores. This year, consumers can use our interactive website, toysafety.mobi, which you can access on your smartphones to see the list of toys that we found to be hazardous. You can also report a toy that you think may be hazardous as well. I want to demonstrate three hazards that WISPIRG researchers found in stores in the past month. First, choking hazards, then lead in toys, and then toxic chemicals in plastic called phthalates. So we all know that toddlers put everything in their mouths. In the past 3 years, at least 15 children have choked to death on balloons, balls, toys, or parts of toys. And in the past year, the CPSC has recalled more than 5.8 million toys from store shelves because of choking hazards. Now, the CPSC prohibits the sale of toys to children under 3 if the toy or any part of the toy fits into this small parts test cylinder. So you can see. Now, the law also requires a prominent explicit warning label for toys for kids between 3 and 6 if they contain small parts. Now, children have choked on toys that actually pass the choke tube test. For example, this toy right here contains toy parts that are just fractions larger than what this test tube size is. So you can see here, this construction cone is from this set here, and it is just barely bigger than the choke tube test. So this is actually legal by law. However, it does pose a safety hazard because children have choked on toys even larger than this one. So for years, we've actually told parents that it is more reliable to test if a toy poses a choking hazard by using a bigger test cylinder that everyone actually has in their home. You can use a toilet paper roll, and if any part of a toy fits inside this toilet paper roll, it's too small for children under the age of 3. So today we're actually delivering the CPSC a letter signed by PIRG activists across the country calling for a more scientific review of the small parts standard. And that's also going to follow a formal petition to the CPSC's docket, which we're going to put forth in December. Consumers can sign on to our call for a more protective small parts standard at toysafety.net. Now I'd like to talk about lead and other metals in children's products, toys, and jewelry. Now, we're all familiar with the dangers posed by lead. Lead has been banned in paint since 1977, and in gasoline for nearly as long. Lead is a powerful neurotoxin that causes chronic problems. It lowers IQ and it causes behavioral problems. New toy safety law brought in 2008 brought tough new safety limits for lead in metals and paint and lead in children's products. And now our review of the past year's recalls shows that the CPSC has recalled more than 500,000 toys or other children's products for a violation of the lead paint standards. And the CPSC has also recalled more than 12 million children's products containing the carcinogen cadmium. Now, WISPIRG researchers sent toys purchased at national retailers to a laboratory, and we found that certain children's products contain a carcinogen called antimony. Now, this toy gun over here actually contains 190 parts per million of antimony in the handle, which is well over the legal limit of 60 parts per million. And shockingly, oh, the gun is here, rather. This is 190 parts per million. And these handcuffs actually contain 1,200 parts per million of antimony in the coating. And that is 20 times the legal limit of antimony. So now I'd like to talk about a toxic chemical called phthalates in toys. These chemicals are used to make plastic softer, and they have been connected to adverse reproductive and developmental health effects. And once again, it's children who are most vulnerable to these health effects. Now, 6 types of phthalates were regulated by the 2008 Product Safety Law. In that law, many children's products containing more than 0.1% phthalates were banned. Our laboratory showed that 2 children's products we found contain phthalates. For example, this Dora the Explorer backpack contains a phthalate that is actually not banned by law in this mouth area here, though it is a toxic chemical, and thus we are calling for a more comprehensive review of U.S. toxics policy. So in conclusion, the CPSC is doing a good job under its expanded authority, but there's still more work to be done, especially when it comes to eliminating choking hazards and regulating the tens of thousands of chemicals that are in the toys that our children play with every day. And the CPSC should revise the small part standard to better protect children from choking hazards. And Congress should also continue to take action on the many toxic chemicals that endanger our children's health by overhauling U.S. toxics policy. There's no place for toxic chemicals in products intended for children. And so for parents and consumers about to embark on the holiday shopping season, we offer the following advice. Remember that WISPIRG's report includes only a sampling of potentially hazardous toys on the market. So parents and toy shoppers should exercise just general common sense as you would for kids you care about. If a toy looks like it could be too small or something you could choke on, certainly go with something larger. The bigger the better for kids under 3. And consumers should also feel free to report unsafe toys to the Consumer Product Safety Commission at cpsc.gov. So now Kim Lombard of Gunderson Lutheran will speak, and then we'll take your questions. Thank you.
All right, so today I wanted to bring up the discussion of all-terrain vehicles, otherwise known as ATVs. These vehicles pose unique dangers to children for several different reasons. For one, children lack the strength, coordination, and judgment to operate these vehicles safely. Children have shorter attention spans and react more slowly than adults do. They tend to believe that products purchased by their parents are safe for them. And they take more risks, particularly males, and perceive less danger in those risks than adults do. In a recent Consumer Product Safety Commission study, the primary causes of ATV deaths for kids were because of overturning, collision with other obstacles, or other collisions. Each of these implies the inability to control the vehicle. Nationwide, approximately 130 children under the age of 16 die each year as a result of ATV injuries. 40,000 other children under the age of 16 are seriously injured each year. And 90% of ATV-related injuries suffered by children are caused by adult-sized ATVs. At Gunderson Lutheran, between the years 2000 through 2009, children under the age of 16 made up 28% of all ATV-related hospitalizations. 75% of those children were not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. The American Academy of Pediatrics, American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, and Safe Kids Worldwide all agree that no child under the age of 16 should operate any ATV of any size. While a helmet can reduce the risk of severe head injury, there is no safety device that can adequately protect against other injuries commonly sustained by ATVs. Injuries are often very serious, including severe brain, spinal, abdominal, and complicated orthopedic injuries. The vast majority of ATVs are not designed to carry passengers. They include a large seat, which is meant for the rider to be able to shift their weight back and forth to be able to operate the vehicle. Children can easily be thrown from ATVs at high speeds. In conclusion, ATVs are not toys. They are large motorized vehicles that can weigh in excess of 800 pounds and go up to speeds up to 60 miles per hour. The safe use of an ATV would require the same skill, judgment, and experience as needed to operate any automobile. But most parents would never consider allowing their 12-year-old child to take their Oldsmobile out for a spin. Even if this car has many safety devices such as seat belts and airbags. Yet an unlicensed child is permitted to drive an ATV at high speeds without any safety protection on rough terrain. This simply defies all logic. So this holiday season, and through the years to come, I recommend that you give the gift of safety. Please take careful consideration when purchasing ATVs and do not allow any child under the age of 16 to operate any size ATV at any time. Thank you.